You take a look at my website today. There's a story that could really boil you. It's about a fireman in New York with a full disability pension who was also a triathlete at the same time, a little double dipping. He claims he got a little lung disorder in his last few months, scamming the system. Now, there's been no greater supporter of cops and firemen than Michael Savage. But enough is enough is enough. Their pensions are bankrupting cities and states and the government across the land. And as sure as I sit here, whether you want to hear it from me or you don't want to hear it from me, it's happening. Even liberals now are challenging cops and firemen with regard to their grotesque, gargantuan pensions. And that's because so many of them have scammed the system. What they do is in their last year, they've come up with a fake illness, and they claim that they got it on the job. As a result of it, they go out on disability at 85 or 100% of their last year's salary with no taxes, no city, no state, no federal taxes paid, because it's called a disability pension. Then they go and they either open a business or they get another job. And they think that they're different than a criminal. I'd like to know how that's different than a guy who robbed a company or robbed a bank or somebody who scammed somebody's credit. I'd like to know how that's any different. No, this is not all right. It is wrong. It is wrong. Disability pensions were set up for a reason. They were set up to help people who were severely injured on the job, whether fighting a fire or rescuing somebody in a police action, not for somebody with a fake back injury or a fake lung injury. So this character, you got to read this story. I put it up because it got me so angry on my website, Michael Savage. I got it from the New York Post. It got me very angry because I know how many of you work so hard and take home so little. And then I look at people like this, and we give them our trust, don't we? We look up to men in uniform, don't we? And yet we see so many of them abusing the system that it can't go on. It's going to break. The system is broken. So here's the story. $86,000 disability pension for Marathon Man. And his name is Lieutenant John McLaughlin. It's from the New York Post. So if you think, oh, it's going to be an illegal immigrant, you're wrong. No, McLaughlin's ancestors came here a long while ago. And here's what they say. Retired FDNY Lieutenant John McLaughlin has literally run off with a fat tax-exempt disability pension, despite being known as Iron Man in Long Island hometown where he regularly trains and competes as a triathlete, the Post has learned. The 55-year-old Long Beach councilman was deemed an asthmatic with diminished lung capacity when the city granted him a three-quarters pay, $86,000 a year disability pension 2 months after 9/11, earning him the sarcastic moniker Johnny Lungs among neighbors. The disabled man places high in local and regional races and frequently wins his age group, running impressive 6-minute miles. He's often seen jogging and biking on the Long Beach boardwalk. Okay? So how did he wind up with a disability pension? Well, how did he do it? Because it's very simple. The unions have set it up so that any cop or fireman, especially in New York, can get a disability pension in their last year, at a tax-free disability pension. His friends call him Johnny Lungs because of his disability. Everyone knows it's a joke, said one Long Beach insider. He's known as the Iron Man, and he competes in races. Reached last week, McLaughlin defended his pension as legitimate. He read from the FDNY Medical and Pension Board papers that diagnosed him with, quote, bronchial asthma. Under the so-called lung bill, a condition that results in reduced respiratory function is presumed job-related for pension purposes. Now, let me explain something. The lung bill was put in place for firemen who had their lungs damaged during fires, okay? He claims that it was because of his job. But the fact of the matter is he declared this injury before 9/11 occurred, 2 months before it. FDNY doctors, Fire Department New York doctors, have insisted it's not their fault that they're approving lucrative disability pensions that are exempt from state and local income taxes. The doctors said state laws passed by labor-friendly state legislatures force them to okay generous disability payouts, even if there's no conclusive evidence linking the firefighters' conditions to their jobs. Now, is it any wonder why people have no respect anymore for this? I mean, really, what is the average life of a fireman today? 9 a.m., work out on the weights in the firehouse. 11 a.m., perfect your low-fat cooking skill. 1 p.m., respond to a false alarm. 3 p.m., take a nap. 5 o'clock, it's Pauhana beer time. And then there are far too many firehouses. There are far too many firehouses throughout America. They need to be amalgamated into single units. that respond to an entirely large area. This is all part of the union legislature complex. I'll be right back.